Hi, and welcome to this demonstration on installing the STM32CubeIDE. So go to your web browser and search for STM32CubeIDE, and your top hit should be this one here, and I'll click on that. So this integrated development environment, notice you can get the software. So this is what we're going to be installing. Previously, before this, you installed two separate packages. You installed what was called STM32CubeMX, and then you also installed True Studio for STM32. So those were two separate packages. Now this is all in one. They've been combined into one. So I'll click on Get Software. One thing to observe is that they have a Linux version, a Mac version, and a Windows version. So this is nice that you can pick the platform that you use most often, be it Linux, Mac, or Windows. This recording system that I'm using is on Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and click Get Software, and I'll accept the license agreement. At this point, you can either have it send you an email and you can download from there, or you can log in. Alright, after receiving the email and clicking on the link, you'll see that it will then download the file. So in this case, I've got this file downloaded. Notice it's a zip file, and we can open it up and start the installation. Alright, after extracting the zip file, I have this executable file, and I will double click on the executable file. Alright, so the installation starts. This is the first screen, the welcome to the STM Microelectronics STM32CubeIDE Wizard, or IDE Wizard. I'll click on Next. Agree to the license. Notice it's going to install it here on the Windows system, at least on the C drive /ST. So it's going to create a directory up at the top level of the C drive ST, and then the STM32CubeIDE 1.0.2 in this case. So I'll click Next, and I'm going to have it go ahead and install all the drivers for the different debug options. And at that point, the installation begins. Notice as it's installing, you'll see a number of jar files. Jar files are Java archive files. The IDE is actually based on Eclipse IDE, and Eclipse is used for many different languages. It started out as a Java development environment, and it's also used, as we're going to use it here, in a C and C++ environment. In fact, now you can see us loading in a number of the C tools, things like compilers and libraries and so forth. So it's always a good idea to kind of look at the installation, see what's being put in there, and it gives you a high-level view of the different packages and software that you're installing. Gives you an appreciation for all the work that went into it, giving you the ability to graphically define your pins on your chipset, and then also bring up the coding environment. So notice the install was pretty quick. I didn't pause the video or anything. It literally just took a few moments, and then we'll click on Next. And of course, I want to create a shortcut on the desktop because I do plan to use this a good bit, and then I'll click on Finish. Notice right here it appeared on our desktop. So the IDE, STM32CubeIDE, and probably the last step of the installation is just double click on it and make sure it starts up. So here we see the welcome screen as it's starting up. Notice right here the STM32CubeIDE launcher. This is going to bring up the Eclipse-based workstation or IDE, and Eclipse puts your code into a workspace. So notice the default workspace here is C:users, the whatever your username you're logged in as, STM32CubeIDE workspace 1.0.2. So a brand new workspace is set up for this. So I'll click on launch. And here we are. We've got the welcome to the STM32CubeIDE. Says a .c project file extension is currently associated with another program, True Studio. Would you like to associate with this STM32CubeMX? And I'm going to say, or CubeIDE, I'm going to say yes, I want to go ahead and associate it with that, because this is going to be my new development environment. And then here's another project extension, says the .project is with True Studio. I'm going to say yes, I want to associate it with the CubeIDE. And here we are. We're ready, got our installation, and we got it here ready to go. And in the other video I'll do our initial project, but this confirmed that our installation worked as expected.